All right. Joining us now is he's the one-time talk show host here on WRKO, and he is now again a talk show host on WRKO. Michael Savage. It's great to have you with us here on the Howie Carr Show on WRKO, Michael.
I love Boston. Glad to be back. I even once lived in Marblehead, believe it or not.
That's I did not know that. I'm glad to know that. Hey, Michael, what do you think of this fact that the mainstream media is not doing anything about these bikers descending on D.C. today? It's like I'm sure they were going to play up the Million Muslim March, but now that the million Muslims have been outnumbered 2-1 by bikers, it's nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
Howie, what more do you need to know than the story that broke today about the advisor to Kerry and McCain, who has no Ph.D., and is an advocate for the Syrian rebel group? She receives money from them.
Right.
Does it get any worse than a president taking advice from a fake Ph.D. who works for the enemy?
I know. The story broke last week, and she said then she said there was no there was no problem with her background.
No. Well, there's no problem with it because Obama doesn't see the difference between a fake PhD and a real one, or working for the enemy or working for America. What's the difference to him? Look, you heard his speech last night, as we all did, and my headline was "Talk loudly and carry a limp stick." I don't think it gets any better than that one.
Yeah, well, the Globe had a great headline that many years ago. It was a hold the line headline, and it ended up, but it's applied many times since then, and it certainly applied last night. More mush from the wimp.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. But that was it. I mean, I can't, these speeches, he begins them and you don't know what he's going to do. I've never seen a situation like this in my lifetime. And I don't think in American history where people, you always, when a president speaks, you have to know what he's going to say, right? You know, like FDR wasn't going to say, we surrender on the.
There are so many intelligent people with Harvard degrees and Harvard affiliations. You can't be right, Howie, nor can I. Don't they know everything?
No, I know. Yeah, I went to Harvard, Michael. Then I went down to Central and I got off at Park Street.
Oh my God!
You're a Boston guy, so you got the joke. I was on the red line. You see, the red line.
Yeah, well, I've been on the thin line for a long time.
So, Michael, so you're on now. You're on after Levin on here on WRKO. You come on at 10 o'clock, correct?
I am on in Siberia time, but that will change in time. Yeah, it's great to be back on RKO. The thing is, the show will be delayed broadcast, so I won't get any live callers out of Boston, but it'll be great to have the audience there at night when their insomnia, when insomnia kicks in. They can get a Savage dose late at night and then be ready for you the next day.
Well, a lot of people have been complaining since you got taken off. I mean, it's not that they don't like Mark Levin. Mark Levin's very good too, but they missed you as well. And I'm already hearing people on the streets talking about how they're very happy to have you back with them.
Well, that's nice to hear. I've always had an affinity for Boston, to be honest with you. It's very similar to San Francisco politically, architecturally in some ways, socially, culturally. It's very similar in many ways, and being an oddball in this city, meaning a realist in a city of people who live in another universe, gives me a relationship with the basic people of Boston.
Well, Michael, I got to ask you about the events in New York City last night. Carlos Danger went down in flames for mayor.
Who won? I didn't even.
De Blasio won. De Blasio and Joe Lodo, the guy that said he would crush the kittens on the subway.
Wait a minute. What about Miss Quinn? What happened to her? I didn't follow that race. I really didn't.
She and her wife held a gracious concession speech. It's the only question now is whether De Blasio got to 40% and is not going to have a runoff.
Well, Quinn could always go to work with her wife for Obama in the Department of Education.
I thought she was the favorite. She was going to win, and now she really slipped, but not as much as.
Come on, she was going to win according to who? She was according to her friends in the government media complex.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, she was ahead in their again. Granted, you're right. Their polls, she was ahead. Anthony Weiner went out in a blaze of glory. He gave the finger to the news crews as he went into his limo for the last time.
Well, that fits his persona very well.
It's good he picked that appendage for once to show off in public.
I mean, come on, this is great late night stuff. But Howie, what's Anthony Weiner? What are his options? Let's see, greeter in Las Vegas. He could stand in a doorway with his finger out saying, "Come on in." I mean, where's he going to go?
I know. I don't know. His wife was nowhere to be seen. She was somewhere out on the island working, supposedly. And Spitzer also
with the Syrian rebels.
Spitzer also went down the tubes last night.
Well, that's shocking, isn't it? A man who was governor of the state of New York, who uses hookers and puts it on a credit card. That's a really brilliant move.
It's called money laundering, Michael. You know, it's a crime.
How about him getting caught if he would have been caught buying crack on a credit card?
I don't know. It's you got to talk. So are you on today? You're on today, right? So you'll be talking about the bikers, I'm sure, right?
Well, yeah, late at night, but they can't call in from Boston.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what time? But they'll be. But I mean, when your own show starts at its regular time, you'll be talking about it. Is what I'm saying.
Wait a minute, hold it. What am I talking about? The show is on 9 p.m. Eastern. What am I talking about? So if it's on 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe it's going to be live on WRKO at 10 o'clock for the second hour.
Yeah, so you'll have 2 hours. You'll have 2 hours of live broadcasting here.
Howie, because of you and your honor, for the first number of callers from WRKO to the Savage Nation tonight, I'll give them a free copy of Trickle Down Tyranny. I cannot give away Teddy's puppies.
Oh, that's very nice. No one would expect you to do that, Michael.
What a great deal it is to get back onto RKO, Howie. I know you've been there for how many years now?
A long time.
It's a great home, huh?
Well, it's a home, you know. So it's I've tried to escape, but they came back and got me. So
you thought you were out just when you thought you were out. They pulled you back in.
Yeah, you won your lawsuit. I didn't win my lawsuit. I've been meaning to congratulate you on that. It really it heartened me greatly when you won your lawsuit.
Well, that was only 2.5 years of my life and $1 million.
Well, you're down in Boca sometimes, aren't you?
You know, I am in the area. I occasionally go down there to pick up the cultural beauty of the folks that I ran away from in Queens and Brooklyn. I like to see them, the ones who survived.
Well, I know somebody who goes to the same synagogue that you. So one of my neighbors goes to the same synagogue that you do sometimes. So
I never go to synagogue. Please don't insult me.
Really? Well, that's where she told me she met you.
Where?
At a synagogue in Boca.
I never go to a synagogue in Boca.
Yeah, how about in Palm Beach?
I went once and never went back, and I'll tell you why. A very conservative woman invited me. She said, these are very conservative people. And the rabbi got up, Howie, and started lauding Ben Bernanke, saying he saved the American economy. Because he's Jewish. I walked out. I never went back in there. I didn't want to hear it.
I guess that's where she met you. She must have met you that day. She was asking me about you. This was a couple of years ago after she said, "Do you know a guy named Michael Savage?" And I said, "Yeah, he follows me on WRKO."
I don't know. I don't remember her, but no, I have a problem with organized religion, to be honest with you, of almost after the Muslim terrorist attacks.
Yes.
It's kind of me and God with no one in between. I don't want to be involved in a political organization of any kind, Howie. There's something crazy about people who use God, the name of God, to kill others, you know?
Yeah. Well, they're certainly doing it across. How about the fact that these Muslims more Muslims get killed by Muslims than by anybody else? Well, they're talking about Christians and Jews killing Muslims. They have to worry about their own co-religionists more than any of us.
Howie, it's 100% true that the average middle-class Muslim, and there are many millions, have more to fear from the radicals than the average American Christian or Jew does, and they know it. They've seen their insanity in action. Here's a great friend. I have a Muslim acquaintance who owns a restaurant here in San Francisco, and he's a great guy. I mean, he's sort of a Muslim the way most Catholics are Catholic today. You know the word lapsed Catholic?
Yeah, cafeteria Catholic is another way of putting it, yeah.
He's a restaurant owner. He's a great guy. So he's an older man. You could call him a lapsed Muslim. I don't know, but he's a Muslim. So he said do you know what happens when Jews fast? I said, what? He said, Muslims starve. I laughed hysterically, meaning he's in the restaurant business. I mean, it's a very funny joke.
That is a pretty good joke. 1-877-469-4322. 1-877-4. Are you so you've been living in San Francisco for a long time though, right? I mean,
I actually love it out here. The climate is beautiful. The architecture is great. It's good boating. People leave you alone. That's one thing. If you can just avoid certain areas, it's a beautiful place. And it's my home. I've been here for so long. Since 1974, I came here to get my doctorate, a real PhD, by the way, from Berkeley, not like Obama's advisor who's working towards it. And I never left.
You know though that because of this, she's probably in the front running for the Profiles and Courage Award.
I think so, because look what she's had to put up with, all the criticism about a fake PhD.
Right, exactly. I mean, if you do something like this, you push the hardcore lefty line, you're in the front row for a Profiles and Courage Award.
Well, Howie, you're not seeing it the way they do, which is working for something is the same as achieving it. In other words, if, let's say, a gangbanger is killed at 15 and a machine gun and crack is found in his hand, at the funeral they say he wanted to be a professor or a doctor, so to them it's the same as him having been a professor or a doctor already.
Michael, he wanted
to be one.
We talk about this a lot. He was turning his life around.
Well, he was. Absolutely.
He was a good boy, a very good boy. He was planning on marrying his fiancée, who was the mother of his 3 children.
Oh, I can see why you have fun on the radio.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun on the radio here, Michael, and I'll keep the audience warmed up for you. I was thinking about you were talking about Muslims having a lot to fear from their own. I remember when the Iranian nuclear scientist got hit, like a gangland hit on the streets of Tehran.
Yeah.
And I went up to, there's a Pakistani that used to work downstairs, and I said, do you think the Israelis could have done that in Tehran? And he shook his head and he said, Tehran, Muslim city, always plenty of people for sale.
Oh boy. Say, by the way, your main competitor in this slot is old Wallbanger, isn't it?
Who?
Wallbanger. Isn't Wallbanger on opposing stations in this time slot?
Oh, Hannity?
I call him Wallbanger.
Oh, Hannity. Yeah, I get along with Hannity. I know you don't, but I get along with Hannity. Okay,
the guy. I think he's a very nice guy. It's just his time has come. That's all.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I think his problem right now, Michael, is being a real hardcore Republican. I mean, it's hard. It's tough to be a Republican when Boehner goes over to the White House yesterday afternoon and is helping Obama fine tune that piece of crap speech from last night.
Well, I've not been a Republican in my whole life. I mean, that's my litmus test. I mean, I'm an independent. I have been a long time. And by the way, independent conservative. And right now, Howie, I'm an anti-war conservative.
Yeah.
How is it that they're hawkish communists? How did this happen, hawkish liberals? How did peace sticks become hawks? How did Nancy Pelosi channel her granddaughter on war and peace?
I went into a supermarket today and I picked up a carton of milk, Michael, and I saw Cindy Sheehan's photo on it. Where is she?
Well,
you know what, Michael, I live in the midst of it. I used to live in Cambridge. I used to own property in Boston. I drive through Brookline, Newton every day. I live in Wellesley. I have yet to see a single candlelight vigil about this war. Have you seen a single candlelight vigil?
Oh, you mean the peaceniks crying on the street?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes. That's what God made federal courthouses for, so they could have candlelight vigils outside of them.
Howard, to a liberal, any bomb that has a D on it is a good bomb. Any bomb that has an R on it is a bad bomb.
I know. I can't. I love seeing these guys on the internet in their full dress uniforms saying, "I did not sign up to fight in a Syrian civil war on the Al Qaeda side."
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But what do you expect? I mean, this is what and by the way, the Anointed One has 3.5 more years, Howie. We're in real trouble here.
I know. Well, I give you one before I let you go, Michael. I'll give you one good piece of news. I'm sure this has been bothering you since last week, since our distinguished new senator Ed Markey. We call him Blood and Guts. Remember he voted present on the war resolution?
Oh, yes. Well, that's very gutsy.
Well, he's now been given permission by Reid and Schumer. He can vote no on it.
God in heaven, how does this happen? How does the country get run by such incredible intellects?
Well, listen, Michael, we're glad to have you back on RKO. Like I said, it's people have been wanting you back for a long time. I know this is one time where phone calls did make a difference in radio, and you're going to be on with us from 9 o'clock from 9 to midnight every night, so people can get the first hour will be recorded, the second 2 hours will be live, so you can call in, and that deal still stands. If people call in from Boston tonight on RKO, they can get a free copy of Trickle Up Poverty, right?
You got it. Absolutely. And Howie, I want to thank you very much for extending your welcome to me. It's a pleasure to be back in Boston on WRK.
Okay. Hey, listen, Michael, I don't go to the synagogue either because I'm not Jewish, but if you're ever up in Palm Beach, I'll buy you lunch at our club.
Which club?
It's the club of our condo. It's a nice club. It's a real nice. You know what? I think it's very close to where you went to the synagogue. It's right downtown. I
used to belong to Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago. It's right in your backyard.
Yeah, this is north of Mar-a-Lago. Sandy, will you give him my phone number? And if he wouldn't, and maybe I'll see you over Christmas, or excuse me.